This is the STV News. Good evening. Disruption is expected to continue for several days on one of Scotland's busiest train lines. Engineers are working to repair damage caused by a train derailment at the Coatbridge Sunnyside station. ScotRail say staffing shortages will also contribute to delays for travellers. Vanessa Taff has this report.
An emergency timetable has been in place here at Coatbridge Sunnyside station over the weekend, where engineers are working to assess the damage caused to the track by a derailed train. There were no injuries and the train was out of service at 9:30 on Friday night when the incident happened. Network Rail say the damage caused to the track is significant. Now, the disruption is expected to last for several days, and ScotRail say they're sorry for the inconvenience. This will cause delays and disruption for commuters on services between Helensburgh and Edinburgh and Balloch and Airdrie. An investigation is underway into the incident, and travellers are strongly advised to check their local timetables before they travel. Vanessa Taff, STV News, Coatbridge.
To Ukraine, and a Scottish doctor who's travelled to the war-torn country to train emergency workers says medics are struggling with the volume of trauma caused by the conflict. This comes as more than 60 people are feared dead after a Russian bomb hit a school in eastern Ukraine. Surgeon Andy Kent is usually based at Raigmore Hospital in Inverness, but he's travelled to the embattled country as part of the UK Med effort to help.
What's different here is just the volume of trauma that they're seeing, and that's particularly condensed into this the Donbass region. It can take usually about 24 hours to get from the west of Ukraine to the east. So we have been using trains, but the train lines have been targeted.
Now, 17 Edinburgh schools have seen literacy rates improve through a pen pal scheme set up during COVID. The Superpower agency matched school pupils with some of the city's older residents. They met in person for the very first time, and our reporter Polly Bartlett was there.
Meeting in person for the first time. These pen pals have been writing letters to each other for more than 2 years.
Writing letters to people I think is very interesting, especially if it's like someone random and like you get to know them a lot better.
They kind of paired us up and we just started talking to that person about anything we really wanted. Just learning about a person we could have just met on the street and not even realised.
The programme was created to help bridge attainment gaps, but it also helped people struggling with the isolation of coronavirus.
I live alone, lots of people lived alone, and it was a lonely time. It was such a strange time, and I think hearing from other people and knowing you're not in it alone, that sense of community and bonding together, I think it was just the most important thing to get through it.
The pen pal scheme is improving literacy rates across the city, especially among male pupils.
One of the things about raising attainment for boys is that giving them a real life context for literacy really helps them hone their skills and really focus on something that's meaningful to them. So it was great to see, and not really a surprise. We're doing quite a lot of work on raising boys' attainment in the school, and that's one of the key things that we've done to try and engage boys in the literacy, and it really is working for them.
It currently takes place in 17 schools, and now they're branching out beyond Edinburgh.
For many of them, I think they become very disengaged with school. They're not very interested, and writing is one of those things that I think it's hard, and it's a hard thing to teach. So getting young people excited about writing now helps them throughout for the exams, and then in life with interviews and just learning to talk to people and just being comfortable with everything.
These pen pals have gained skills and friends for life. Polly Bartlett, STV News, Edinburgh.
To sport now, and Rangers defeated Dundee United 2-0 to delay Celtic's Scottish Premiership title triumph. Goals from James Tavernier and Amad Diallo were enough for the Europa League finalists to secure victory at Ibrox. Meanwhile, in women's football, Glasgow City's 14-year run as champions has been brought to an end by Rangers. A 0-0 draw between the two sides was enough for Malky Thompson's team to clinch their first league title. And finally, for the first time since the pandemic began, a very distinctive sound could be heard in Aberdeenshire as the North of Scotland Pipe Band Championships returned. Pipers and drummers from all across the country gathered in Banchory, and Kirsten Tate was there to meet them.
Pipes up. warming up for their biggest performance in 2 years. More than 20 bands of all ages gear up to entertain the town. Not only looking to secure a trophy, these musicians are back to bring a touch of colour through their tartan and keep the Scottish art form alive.
It celebrates our heritage, and everyone likes a pipe band, whether you're at rugby matches or football matches. Everyone loves it, and then the mass pipe bands at the end are a very sort of emotional affair when everyone is there. So it really tugs at our heritage, and it's just wonderful to come out on a lovely day like this. It's got bigger and bigger, and more people come into Banchory.
After becoming a regular event in 2015, the competition has become a staple in the D-side calendar, attracting thousands of visitors from near and far. Its absence was also missed by competitors themselves, who were unable to perform during the pandemic.
It was a lot. It was just not seeing people, and people that you'd spend a summer with, competing with, and see twice a week at practice, and then just not seeing them for months. It was really strange, but we kept in touch over like Zoom calls. We can practice by ourselves, but it's just not the same as actually playing as a whole in the band. It's just a lot easier when you're all together in the same place.
Around 3,000 people have come to Banchory today to celebrate this much-missed event, and while some of the musicians will go on to compete in the World Championships, it's here in Banchory that they love to celebrate their Scottish heritage. Kirsten Tate, STV News.
Well, that's all for your STV News for the moment. From everyone on the news team, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Goodbye.